Yeah. Beautiful. Welcome back to She's Beyond Elevated. And today's episode is for the woman, and honestly, the men too, who knows that there's more out there for them, but hasn't actually acted on it yet. This episode is entitled From Side Hustle to a Seat at the Table. And we're talking about what it actually looks like to take something that you've been doing basically on the side and turn it to income, influence, and real opportunity. But let's just be honest, right? In today's world, having one stream of income is literally like having no streams of income because one stream of income can switch to no streams of income really quickly. So we all have to have a side hustle, right? And with AI shifting the workforce the way that it has, a lot of people are starting to ask, what do I actually own? Like outside of my skills with the company, what do I actually own? And how can I monetize what's mine? So, beautiful. I'm joined today by Mr. Bart Morrell, also known as the Side Hustle Samurai. And Bart helps people turn what they already know into income through his monetize your mindset approach and side hustle strategy, right? So, right now, he's working with individuals who are realizing something important. One, life is too short to spend all your time building someone else's vision. And especially if you have the ability to build your own, right? So, Bart, welcome to She's Beyond Elevated.
Thanks for having me today. Excited to have this conversation.
I know. I was so, when we spoke earlier, before, I was just outdone with the side hustle samurai. That was so good. So I really am going to give you some time because I want you to explain to the listeners the pretense behind that. But Bart, let's kind of start here. With everything happening, the economy the way that it is, unemployment rates are through the roof. Okay. Now AI and job insecurity and all of these things. Why is it such an important time for people to start thinking about building their own income streams?
Be- because you never know when life is going to happen. This really hit. So I had a dream job. My dream job was to get in the FBI and chase serial killers.
Okay.
And I did not make it. I had a family friend who was an ex-FBI agent. He said the easiest way into the FBI is through accounting. And so I went and I studied accounting. Once you get into the FBI, you can move to wherever the job openings are. My pathway in was through accounting. Once I
Okay.
started
Traditional.
once I started studying accounting, I found out two things. One, I didn't like it, and two, I wasn't very good at it.
You might have wanted to find that out at the beginning part, but that's okay. We
But
digress.
I continued through because it was my path into the FBI.
Okay.
And I had one semester left. I went home to help my dad on the farm, improve my Spanish speaking ability. While I was down there, I had RK surgery done on my eyes. This was before LASIK, and
Okay.
it's where they go in and they make a bunch of slits in your eyeball, and the scar tissue changes the shape of your eyeball and corrects your vision.
Okay.
And mine was successful. I was 20/20 in one and 20/25 in the other. And I was that way till I was about 52. So from 23 to 52, I had perfect vision. But after I got it done, I got back up to school, finishing up my accounting degree, started the application process in the FBI, and I found out that that surgery automatically disqualified me from the FBI.
Oh
Because
God.
at the time it was still considered experimental, and
Gotcha.
they didn't want to put tens of thousands of dollars into training an FBI agent and then he go blind. And so
Yeah,
it kind of makes sense, but I was devastated. What am I going to do?
I can imagine.
Because I'm in a degree. I do not want to be an accountant. I don't want to go count other people's money. I did not want to do that. And so things just happened.
Mhm.
I spent time in Japan. A buddy of mine who worked for a bungee jump company said, "Hey, Bart, do you want to go back to Japan? We just sold a bungee jump to Japan. You can help with the building of it and help with the training of the staff. And he was kind of joking, but I thought about it for a second and I said, yeah, I think I would.
No,
And so that's where I started. I took that, I contracted with the
that's the leap,
Japanese
huh?
company, and things just started to where in my lifetime, the way I have survived financially is anything that crosses my path, good, bad, or ugly, I always ask, how can I monetize it?
There you go. Monetize, monetization, putting a dollar sign to it. That's basically what monetize means, putting a dollar
Yes.
sign to it.
And
Wow, that's
and that's kind of how I survived. I just did survived. That's how I made my money. And I
God.
really only had one major income stream.
Okay.
And then I say one major with little tiny other ones.
Okay,
And
got
my
it.
wife, she's Japanese. She goes back to Japan to visit her family. And while she's there, she gets her health checks done. And if several years ago, she called me from Japan. She
Mhm.
calmly informed me that the initial test indicated cancer.
Oh no.
I'm whose life hasn't been touched by cancer in one way or another.
One point,
My
right?
brother died at age 53 from cancer,
Gosh.
two sisters at age 62. So you can imagine what
All right,
was
I'm so
running through
sorry.
my mind.
Wow.
I
Gee,
could lose my wife. Sadly, you know what the second thought was?
what was it?
We can't afford this. I
That's
can't afford to
exactly.
drop everything and be by her side
That's
as she
crazy.
goes through whatever it is she's going to have to go through.
And it's crazy. I remember my great grandparents used to say, it's going to be where you can't afford to live.
Yeah,
And I was thinking, oh, paying mortgage and so forth, but literally, you can't. Some people can't afford health care. They can't afford the medications that they need and things like that. So you can't afford to live, especially on one or no incomes. So yeah,
yeah. And it's, so we say money isn't everything, or is it when
is
you
it
don't have enough?
exactly? It becomes everything when you don't have it.
And so that's why you need multiple streams of income.
You are so right. Wow, Bart. Again, my condolences on the loss of your siblings and wonderful that your wife had you to support her during her.
Well, and so the let's finish the wife story, not leave everybody hanging. 8 days later, the biopsy came back negative for cancer.
Oh,
So we got a wake up call. She just had to have surgery. We got a wake up call. I'm telling people out there that are listening, don't wait for the wake up call
no.
because you may not get it. You may not be lucky.
Yeah, you're right.
And so start now before life happens. I say, what happens when what happens happens? Are you prepared?
Wow.
So get
Wow.
prepared before it happens so that you have the resources to deal with it.
Good stuff, Bart. Oh, wow. Wow. So, uh, what is the biggest misconception that you've seen people have about starting a side hustle?
So you've probably heard this quote, Jack of all trades,
Master of none.
master of none. Have you heard the full quotation?
No, go enlighten the audience.
Jack of all trades, master of none,
Right.
though oftentimes better than the master of one.
God, yeah. Never knew the rest of that quote. Okay, you
We
guys, you heard it
everybody
here.
uses it the opposite.
Exactly. Kind of like blood is thicker than water. And that's not the correct quotation either. But people use it all the time and it's used in the exact opposite of the way that it was intended. So yeah. Okay, so it's
And so
the jack of all trades, master of none, but sometimes better than the master of one. Is that what?
though
Though, though
oftentimes better
oftentimes.
than the master of one.
Okay,
And so
gotcha.
it's like we use it as, oh, we need to focus. I need to focus on what I do. Well, maybe you do, but you're also what if that what you do disappears? You
Correct.
talked about AI at the beginning of your opening here. Lots of lives are going to be changed because of AI.
Yeah.
Their
And you either
jobs
get
are
on board.
going away.
Yeah. You either get on
They
board
need
or
to
you're going to get
start to
passed.
figure out what are they going to do? What do they know that they can monetize and not worry about getting their money from someone else?
That's it.
Create their own opportunity
Yeah.
and have it so it's like having all your eggs in one basket.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if
Definitely.
you have all your eggs in one basket, that's not good. And that's exactly what the full quotation means.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, a lot of people feel like they don't have anything to offer, so to speak. How do you help someone identify what they already know and turn something like that into something that they can monetize?
And so like I mentioned, anything that crosses my path, good, bad, or ugly, I always ask that question. How can I monetize it? I don't monetize everything, but I always ask the question.
There you go. Gotcha. Got
And I do that naturally. It comes natural to me because of my father. My father, he was a pig farmer, but he didn't only have a pig farm, he had his hands in many different things in the agricultural industry. Part owner in a dairy farm in Idaho, part owner in a mushroom farm in Utah, part owner in a produce warehouse in Arizona.
gotcha.
And so he never set me down and taught me the birds and the bees of business, but he showed me by example. And then anytime I wanted to try something, he was there to encourage me.
There
And
you
so
go.
that's why this comes so natural to me. But
Gotcha.
if you didn't grow up with my dad or someone like my dad, you don't think like I do.
No.
And so I help people start to think that way.
Okay.
They're blind by the closeness of the opportunities that are right here. They can't see what they have, their
Exactly.
life experiences, the things that they've gone through.
Exactly.
And so I
And
tell them to make 3 lists.
okay.
Make a list of the things that you like to do, the things that you need to do, and the things that you're already doing. And as you're making these lists, do not think about, oh, I can't turn that into a stream of income. Just make the list. You can
Gotcha.
refine it later, make the list, and then you're going to go through and just ask on each one of those things, how could I turn that into a stream of income?
Okay.
Not can I, not can I, how can I? Because that opens your brain to to think about it. You don't automatically shut it off. You know, you don't say, "Can I do it?" No, you can't.
Yeah.
When you
Because
asked, "How can I do it?" It
yeah, the
opens your mind to thinking, "Okay, if I could, how could I do it?
and your
What do I need
subconscious
to do?"
starts. Yeah, your subconscious when you ask how, your subconscious starts to work in the background and it starts to
Exactly.
come up with ideas and things that may not be in your conscious thinking. But
Correct.
subconsciously, it opens up the universe and lets the universe answer the question. Basically, is what it does. So but in doing those things, like we've moved from the three lists. How do you know if something is actually marketable? Like,
So the short answer is you let the market decide.
gotcha.
But the
Okay.
but the long answer is you need to do your research.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
And some I say that sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, sometimes it's obvious. But
gotcha.
let's I'm gonna so one of the things that people neglect is the things you need to do because they it's not something you necessarily want to do.
I got you.
So
I
I'm
understand.
not sure if you know this, but I'm a below the knee amputee. My left leg was amputated in actually 2 years ago yesterday.
Yes, you did share that.
And when I found out this was going to happen, after the shock and awe was over, my twisted mind goes like this. Okay, I don't like this, but it's got to happen. There's nothing I can do about it. So how can I monetize it?
Gotcha. Well, beautiful. Stay right. Stay with us. Okay, hold that thought part. Because
Okay.
when we come back, we're actually going to talk about how to move from idea to actual income without overthinking the process. We'll be right back. Before we get into today's episode, let me share something with you that I use personally in my business. Today's episode is sponsored by Go High Level. And yes, I am a proud affiliate because I don't recommend anything that I don't use myself. If you're a coach, consultant, service based entrepreneur who's tired of juggling five, six, seven different platforms to try to efficiently run your business, then Go High Level is for you. Go High Level helps you centralize your systems, CRMs, emails, text messaging, calls, calendars, webinars, even automation, all in one place. For me, time freedom is non negotiable. Legacy doesn't require burnout. And Go High Level helps me build a business that works with my life and not against it. If you want to explore it for yourself, you can learn more by using the affiliate link in the show notes. Now let's get back to the elevator. Now, Bart, let's talk about execution. Once someone identifies their idea, okay, what's the simplest way to move from thinking about it to actually generating income from it?
Yeah, and so let's kind of go back to the leg thing. I thought about it
Mm-hmm.
6 months before the surgery, 6 months post-op, the opportunity came up
Okay.
because I thought about it, because I it was already on my thoughts in my the back of my mind. I'm sitting in an appointment with my prosthetist,
Okay.
and I said, Scott, I interviewed three other prosthetists before I decided on you. One of the other prosthetists, they had a guy that I could talk to, a guy that had his leg cut off that I could say, hey, how bad's this going to hurt? I could get my questions answered. Scott, you don't have a guy. I'm your guy. Then
Yeah.
he's like, okay, what do you want? I said, Scott, I don't want a job. I don't want to come into the office. I want to help people go through what it is that I went through. I want to answer their questions and just help them mentally and get ready for what's about to happen. And
Yeah.
so I'm basically on retainer. We've been doing this for a year and a half now, where he sends me the numbers, I talk to the people, and it's been a good thing for both me and him and the people that are having to go through it.
And let me tell you something. The first step to monetizing any skill set is to solve someone's problem.
Mhm.
Because if they are having a problem, they will pay you an absorbent amount of money because they need that problem solved. That's it. That's the first thing. And that's one of the things that I cover in my workshops, that when you solve the problem, money becomes no object to them, right?
Yeah.
It just does not happen. People don't talk about that because they have this problem that needs to be solved. That's why the weight loss industry is an astronomical industry. That's
Yeah.
why personal development is through the roof, all of the things. That's the reason why, because you're solving a problem for someone, right? And
And
you
that's
solve
why
that person's problem.
you can't overlook the question about what did you need to do.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
have a friend. She is a grief counselor. She's not a grief counselor because she wants to be. That's not what she dreamed of doing. She's a grief counselor because she lost her son when he was a teenager and she had to go through the grieving process.
Wow.
She gets paid to help other people go through that process.
Yeah.
When I was having my leg amputated, it's kind of weird, you might think, but my prosthetist says you need a grief counselor. You need to say goodbye to your leg before it happens. And she was the person that helped me say goodbye to my foot.
She solved the
Uh,
problem for you, though. She solved
yeah,
that.
and
That,
and
that's
it's
that's the name of the game.
and so that's why we overlook the things. We always talk about monetizing your passion. That's good. That's fun, and I have done that. But when you, like you say, solving a problem that you went through, that you have the experience to help other people go through, is money.
Yeah, and I think people get stuck so often because they feel like, oh, well, I'm not certified, or who am I to tell them? Or I just did this myself. But I tell my clients all the time, if you are one step ahead of someone who was where you were and you came through it, you can help them through it.
Yes.
That's what makes you qualified. Because this example, all the time, if I have a cardiologist and I need heart surgery, right? Just like your friend Scott, like your Dr. Scott. If I need heart surgery, am I going to feel more comfortable with handing my life over to someone who's only studied it in books, or someone who has successfully performed 52 open heart surgeries?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't care how many books you read. Can you get me off the operating table alive? That's the only thing I want to know. And if you've done it 52 times and you've only read about it,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with you. Now, Bart, we talk about monetizing your mindset, right? You talk about that. So what mindset shift has to happen to someone to stop like building someone else's dream and start to build their own?
So we've been taught from a very young age that you go to school, you get a job. We've been taught this. So they have to shift their mindset to, I want to take a little bit of risk. And they don't have to jump in with both feet, but sometimes that's good.
Right.
But they need to be committed. And so, but they need to be committed to this mind shift, even if it's a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
And it's you're not going to have a net. You know, you can think about it, you're on a high wire act. If you quit your job and you're, I mean, I've never done the real job thing. So I've never had the net. So it's easy for me to try new things.
Exactly.
But someone who has been in the world of the real job thing, that stepping out, especially once you get to a point where you're trying to leave it, that's hard. That's hard for them.
It is.
And you have to, they need the confidence that they can do it, that they have someone there. So a mentor is key. Having someone to help them when things get rough, because they will. You know, it's not always uphill. I mean, my income goes
Entrepreneurship
like
is not
this.
for the faint of heart.
And
It's
but when it is down, I don't give up. I'm
That's
like,
right.
okay, where can I create more? What can I do to create more, even if it's a new venture?
And
Let's
I
try
think,
something new.
and I'm sorry, Bart, but I think that people really get too comfortable in their corporate job. They really get too comfortable. And I believe I'll venture to say that the comfort is part of the problem. Because if you really truly think about it, they could walk in tomorrow and tell you that you no longer have a job.
Yeah.
Like they
And
they
some of the
truly could. And that's
and
happening.
and some of those cushy jobs, in the tech world, that's going to happen to them
Yeah.
in the next couple of years. A lot of those jobs are going to disappear, and those are very cushy jobs for these people. They make a lot of money, very
Yeah.
safe, very comfortable,
Exactly.
and that's going to happen. And they need to get ready now.
Yeah. So how do people actually overcome the fear of putting themselves out there? Like how do you how can we help them to get over that fear?
The biggest part is having someone being there to hold their hand, being there when because things are going to happen. So one of the things I've started right now with AI, with the AI and stuff, I got into creating AI music.
Right?
And I have I have two alter egos who are AI singer-songwriters, and they put out stuff that I create. And as I do that, you get haters in the music world. The musicians, they hate you, and they will. I've had them say vile stuff on my posts on the internet,
Yeah.
and you have to be okay with that. Because you're going to have naysayers, and a lot of times the biggest naysayer is right here in your own
Yeah,
head
you
that you
have to
got to get
trust
around.
yourself. You have to trust yourself. There's no other way around it. You have to
And
trust what you're doing.
the biggest help, the biggest way to get over that is to have a mentor, have someone to guide you through it, have someone to be there in the hard times when you need someone to, if you want to say it, cry on their shoulder.
Right.
You need
Yeah.
some help. You need some comfort. You need someone to give you the attaboy and, hey, you got this. You got this.
Right.
That is good. That is what is going to help get you past those hard times.
Okay. Well, beautiful. Stay with us because when we come back, we're actually going to talk more about how to move from the idea to actual income without overthinking the process. We'll be right back. Beautiful. Before you go, I want to invite you to take the Wealth Asset Archetype quiz because here's the truth. You don't need more information. You need clarity on what you already carry. The quiz will help you identify the exact strengths, skills, and patterns you already have and how to translate those into income, influence, and real wealth. No guessing, no overthinking, just alignment. You can find the link in the show notes. Take the quiz and start building from who you already are, where expertise becomes wealth. Okay, Bart. Now let's evaluate this. What separates someone from having a side hustle from someone who turns it into like a platform, a business, or either even an opportunity for them to expound or replace their current income? What separates the two?
So I don't know that there's really a separation in the person as
Okay,
much as it is what they have chosen.
got ya.
And it's okay to have a small stream of income coming in.
Okay,
Okay, so I have one rental apartment that
okay,
brings me $1,300 a month in. Not a whole lot of income, but it's passive pretty much.
exactly.
Unless I'm putting a new person in or unless I'm calling someone to fix something, it is passive income. I do nothing. It comes in every month.
There you go.
It's a small side hustle, but
Truly.
it definitely helps, and I don't have to do anything about it.
Yeah, I like that.
I One of my other side hustles, and it's a main hustle. It brings in a good amount of money every month, is I'm a dog trainer. Why
Okay.
am I a dog trainer? Because I adopted a 9-month-old 80-pound Rottweiler that didn't know the word no.
Okay.
And I kept calling my buddy who's a dog trainer, hey, Sean, Rex is doing this. What do I need to do? By about the third, fourth time, he says, Bart, we're doing a train the trainer program. Why don't you come and take our program and train your own dog?
Okay.
If you're not going to pay me to do it, quit calling me. Come learn to do it yourself. If I'm going to learn to train my own dog, I'm going to get paid to train other people's dogs. And
There
to
you
be honest, I have always wanted to monetize my mutt, and I didn't know how to do it. Now, my buddy Rex, who's sitting right here, he's the reason I'm a dog trainer, and it's made me hundreds of thousands of dollars over the past 6 years.
Wow. Wow. And that's where I want my audience's mindset to go. I want them to understand that every single thing that you do all day at your job, someone will pay you for it outside of your job.
Yeah.
That is the reason why you are employed, because it is a monetizable skill. That's why
And,
you get paid for it. It is
and you
monetizable.
you just have to take those first few steps. Once you get
That's
that momentum going, then
that's
it's easier. It gets easier. Now, granted, you even if it gets easier, you are going to hit roadblocks and you still
yes.
have to push through.
Correct. But I
Yeah.
always feel like the true blessing is on the other side of those roadblocks. If you can make it over that roadblock, you're going to hit another you're going to hit another valley, smooth sailing. And then if you can make it over that one, and I believe that it's preparing you for bigger and better things. So
Yeah.
if you learned from this small roadblock, when you get five roadblocks in, you don't have to revisit the first one. You know how to handle that one. You've learned.
Yeah. Yep.
You following me? So yeah, so tell me, what does a seat at the table really mean in the economy like it is today?
So the big thing for me with what I do is the freedom that I have. Now, I probably work longer hours than most 9 to 5ers,
Mhm.
but I like what I'm doing. I enjoy it, and I have the opportunity to say, okay, I can do this later and go do whatever it is I want to do with my wife, or I have the freedom to decide when I do it.
You're right.
And to me, that's freedom. That's why I couldn't have a real job because of that.
That's it. You are so correct. And and the thing about success and all of those things, the reason that it's viable for every single person is because we all want something different. We all want something different. You want to have the freedom to be able to go and hang out with your wife and do the things. I want to have the freedom and do have the freedom to move wherever I want to live wherever I want to live, and to be in my granddaughter's life every single day. That's my freedom. That's my definition of success. So,
Yes.
whatever allows me to create that, I'm successful. That's free. That's what freedom looks like to me. So, wow, Bart, this has been so very, very powerful. Now, if you could just tell our listeners how they can connect with you and what the next steps are working with you, or coming into your community there.
So right now I call it the 1K blind spot assessment. What is keeping you from making your first $1,000 in a side hustle? And you can get that at youridealsidehustle.com.
Okay.
That will connect you to me, and we can continue the conversation, see what the assessment says for you. It'll take you probably 30 minutes to finish the assessment. So it's a big ask to spend 30 cents, but it's eye-opening.
There you go.
It'll show you the things that you really are good at, and it's going to show you the one or two blind spots that you are missing, and it'll give you information on how to overcome those blind spots. It'll give you
Right. So,
ideas to take you to the next level.
okay, great. So again, Bart, you can actually, they can contact you. That was youridealsidehustle.com. Is that correct?
Yep.
They can
And
follow
I'm
you on
most active
LinkedIn.
on Facebook.
Hmm.
And I also have a YouTube channel, Bart Merrill, the Side Hustle Samurai YouTube channel, where I
Okay.
drop hints and just walk people through different scenarios when it comes to starting a side hustle and taking that from everybody thinks a side hustle is small money. It's not.
So it depends on
My
the
most of
hustle.
several of my side hustles are big money,
Yeah.
and I do
Depends on
have a couple that are small money,
yeah.
but they put me in a position to live the way I want to do. I have a mentor that once says living life on your own terms,
That's it. By your own terms every day. That's
and
that's
that's what the
that's the
goal
name of
is
the
when you
game.
start your side hustles.
That's it. That's the name of the game. And people do, you're right. People think side hustles are small money, but it just depends on the size of the side in the hustle. That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. We're actually going to have all the links in the show notes so they can make sure that they stay connected with you and also take that assessment. Now, just if this conversation really sparks something for you and you're wondering what you could actually monetize, after you've taken Bart's assessment, I really want you guys to tune in and take the wealth asset archetype quiz. Now, it's just going to help you identify the strength and the skills that you already have and how to translate those into income, which is what we're talking about today. You're also going to find that link in the show notes as well. Now, beautiful, I want to leave you with this. You don't need permission to build something of your own. You don't need another credential to do that. You don't need a certification to get started. You don't need a plan or even a perfect plan to get it off the ground. You just need to decide, am I going to keep building someone else's vision or start building mine? Because the skills that you are actually sitting on, they're not small, they're unclaimed. Beautiful. Thank you so much again for tuning in to today's episode of She's Beyond Elevated. Bart, thank you so much for being a guest. Would you like to leave our audience with any final words?
If I can, yes, I would.
Yes.
So, have you heard the story Acres of Diamonds?
I have never heard that story.
It's about a Persian farmer who sold his farm and he went in search of diamonds. He died broke, alone in a foreign land. He never found his riches. The
Okay.
farmer that bought his farm was watering his camel in a brook that ran through the property, saw this strange rock in the water, picked it up. It was a diamond. He literally found acres of diamonds in what was Alia Fed's backyard.
Wow.
My family, we have a similar story. Instead of acres of diamonds, we call it acres of pig poop.
Okay.
I grew up in a small town in southern New Mexico. There were more pigs than people in our town because of us. My dad was a pig farmer. I mentioned that earlier.
Right.
At any one time on the farm, we probably had 18, 19,000 pigs.
Okay.
We had 2,000 sows. Do you know what a sow is?
Yes.
A mama pig, for those who don't know. A mama pig can give birth 2.5 times a year. And on our farm, we average 9.95 pigs per litter.
Right.
If you do the math on that, that
Well,
equals a lot of pig poop.
a whole lot.
We had these three man-made ponds called the lagoons that it was the sewage ponds for the pig poop. They were settling ponds. It would go here one year, then here the next year, then here the next year, and just
Okay.
rotate. Happened for years and years and years. When Dad hit 65, he decided it was time to shut down the pig operation and go in search of his next acres of diamonds, his next big opportunity. He died at age 81. He never found his next big thing. 2 years after he passed, we sold the farm for $235,000, which was a fair price for the property at the time.
Okay.
The new owner, 6 months later, was leveling those old ponds. They'd been dry on top for years. But as the heavy grader was going across the middle of the pond, it broke through the crust and sunk up to its belly in this black muck, this black liquid muck.
Okay.
They called in experts. The experts analyzed the stuff and right there on the spot offered the new owners of our farm, what was our farm, $2,000 a ton for the stuff.
Okay.
That's $1 a pound for old pig poop. 500 plus tons of old pig poop was acres of diamonds right under my dad's nose.
And he
The
never knew.
farm that we sold for $235,000 was suddenly worth over $1 million.
Wow.
So here's what I ask your audience. What about you? Are you right there, about ready to discover your acres of diamonds? Or are you overlooking them like Alia Fed and my dad? Because your thing, your side hustle, your next big opportunity is right in your own backyard. right there within your grasp, right there under your nose. And it might even look like a pile of pig poop.
And it may not smell good.
And it may not smell good. And so just be aware of the stuff that is all around you, the opportunities that you have experienced, and don't overlook them.
Wow. Thank you so much, Bart. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Again, thank you guys for tuning in to She's Beyond Delegated. If this episode resonated, share it with someone who's thinking about starting that something and hasn't taken yet the first step. So until next time, you weren't born to blend in. You were born to break ceilings, break out of boxes, and break generational curses. Stay bold, stay brilliant, stay beyond elevated, where expertise becomes wealth. Thank you again, Bart. And I thank you, and I will see you next time. Bye bye, everyone. Well, beautiful, thank you for tuning in to She's Beyond Elevated with Dr. Kimberly Dunlap. If this episode spoke to your soul, share it with another woman ready to rise. Remember, elevation isn't a destination, it's a decision. Keep shining, keep walking in purpose, and I'll see you in the next episode.